Hello again, folks. It's your boy Vendetta back again. Welcome back to another video. And yet another episode of Furtime Talktime, and the first Furtime Talktime episode of 2023. And I honestly have nothing to say right now, other than were you joining me in an apartment? I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. My brain is kind of burst. So let's just do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will let this person introduce himself. So, KanaMau, ladies and gentlemen, just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hi, I'm KanaMau. I am from Austria. I am a furry variety streamer. I'm a DJ and in this fandom for like 20 years by now. So yeah, I'm a gray muscle. Hi.
Oh, I'm a cat. If that's not visible.
Okay. All right. So, with the introductions out of the way, let's dive right into these questions. So, Kana, important question. First of all, how did you get into this fandom?
How to get... Oh, Jesus Christ. It is so long ago that I'm sometimes not sure how to answer this question. Like, back then, internet wasn't available for everyone, actually, so... it was a little bit harder than nowadays. There was no Twitter, there was no YouTube, there was no TikTok, there was no VR. I started in a Final Fantasy forum because I loved Final Fantasy and I was writing fan fictions with other people. And there were people that were using furry characters. And I liked that idea, so I got into touch with them. And, well, then I found out I want to be animal too.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how... Oh. Sorry. It's been a while since I've done this. Which...
Don't worry, I'm
sorry.
fine.
Life has been... Yeah, we're not going to talk about it right now, but... Yeah, it does make a difference between how someone has been in this fandom for... Like, compared to me, I've only been in the fandom for what, like... This is going to be my third year as a furry. As your 20 years. So finding out being a furry must have been like so difficult, or to put it in that terms.
I think it was harder to come across, especially if you were not working in IT. Like, there's this cliche of furries are working everything IT. That isn't that often as it was back then anymore. Like, back then, if you weren't in IT, it was actually hard to come across. A lot of furries found each other either on Furry Mock or IRC chats, which were not so common if you weren't, like, doing stuff in the internet. I was always kind of tech-savvy, even if I wasn't working in IT. I was, like, playing Counter-Strike in an electronic sports league, and we used IRC as a chat platform. Like, there was no Telegram, there was no Discord, stuff like that. So that's where furries met up back then, always. And furry cons were way more uncommon. There was like my first furry meet con for a weekend was like 15 people big. And that was when I met furries for the first time in real life, because there were no regular meets happening in my country back then. That was very exciting, but also scary, because I had no idea what kind of people I'm gonna meet. But it was fine, since I'm still here, so... Yeah, but... You were more cautious, I think, than nowadays about telling everyone around you that you're representing yourself as an animal on the internet. That's for sure.
Yeah. Even today's age, it's difficult to represent yourself as a furry character.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more in the media and a little bit more in the open, I would say. You still have to be kind of cautious, because people who have no idea are thinking the wrong things than people who are having some kind of idea. So, yeah, that's still a little bit weird.
Yeah. I think we should move on before we get off track. We're gonna have a conversation like this for like 3 hours. Like, think. But
Oh,
I do
yeah,
not.
you could,
I do not have
definitely.
that. We could, but we don't. I don't have that kind of time. So I'm running on a tight schedule, and I run this show professionally. So we're gonna move on. So Kana, second important question: what got you into content creation? Either streaming
To
and all that.
content creation. Well, my main platform always has been kind of Twitter as a platform to socialize with other furries. I did do some Vine videos when Vine was still a thing, especially with my fursuit back then, and tried to do some minor YouTube videos as of like small or dumb ideas I had. But then I don't know, I kind of stopped doing that for a while. I actually don't know why, just because, I don't know, life's been busy. And as a lot of other people, I got back into streaming with the pandemic, kind of. I streamed before, every now and then, not really seriously. But right on the day my country hit the lockdown, my index arrived. And I started to explore VR myself and streamed that. And I fell in love with Beat Saber and VR chat and my Twitch channel. I'm still here. That's 3.5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and you must have... and a lot of the furry fandom must have been like... Everyone moved to VR chat when the pandemic hit, because no one had, like... You know, cons weren't going on. Nothing else was going on. Like, everyone was just
Everything
shut.
got cancelled.
Pretty much.
I remember I was at a furrycon a week before my country went into lockdown. I was in Poland at a furrycon called Gdakon. And it was like the last convention before everything shut down. And then suddenly nothing for like 2 years. And I think a lot of people saw this VR and VR chat as somewhere to go and meet your friends that you usually see at conventions.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we've had like, I think also we've had like a bigger impact on VR chat, because I mean, being a furry in VR chat also got to bring in new people into the fandom. Like a lot of people had no idea about neither VR chat or the furry fandom. So mixing those two together can bring in new people.
I saw that impact in my community as well, because like now that conventions are starting again, and there was the very first Eurofurence happening again last year, and then a lot of people from my community going to Eurofurence as well. And for a lot of them, it has been the first furry con or furry event ever, because most of them, or a lot of them, just found the fandom or their connection to the fandom, let's say like that, or had time for that during the pandemic. Because before that, a lot of people telling you like, oh yeah, I was like a furry, but I wasn't actively part in it because they didn't have time, or they had a job, or they had a hobby that made them go outside all the time. And suddenly, all of that happened at home. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. We had a huge impact. I think we had a huge impact on VR, and VR had a huge impact on us.
I cannot control my hands. Let's move on. Anyway, moving on to the next question. All right, Kana. Next question. So,
Mau.
the next question I have for you is, who is someone that you look up to?
Someone I look up to in the furry fandom, I guess.
It can go both
One of
ways.
the first persons.
Both ways. I mean, I look up to a lot of musicians, as I'm a furry, or as I am a hobby DJ and play at conventions and stuff. I look up to a lot of people who produce music or are DJs themselves. Like one of my biggest inspirations would be like Skrillex as a DJ and as a producer, or Flume. In the furry fandom, there's also a DJ I look up to that goes by the name Big Blue Fox, who has been DJing at Eurofurence the first time I attended, and that's 20 years ago, kinda. And I saw him being the very first DJ at a furry con. I was like, I wanna do that too sometimes. And well, now we're like actually really good friends, and we send each other music, and we also DJ together sometimes, so that's pretty cool. And next to that, who am I looking up to? Who are people that I like to... Well, I think people who I look up to are people you like to impress or try to impress. There might be Lino, if you know him, another furry streamer who I am following for over 3 years now as well, who probably also kind of dragged me into streaming, and I am impressed by his knowledge and his curiosity about streaming. He's like all over Twitch when it comes to that, and there's almost nothing he doesn't know, and his streams are just like expertise in streaming, so that's also a person I look up a lot to.
Yeah. And alright. Next question. So my next question for you is, what is something that we don't know about you that you'd be willing to tell us? Like an interesting fact
wait.
about yourself.
Everything I don't want people to know is because I don't want them to know. That's a tricky question. To know about me that people don't know. If you're like being like, I'm a very honest person, so there's not much I'm actually hiding, I guess. That's a really interesting question, but also a hard one, I'm not gonna lie. I probably need a moment to think about that. Is there something that people in general don't know? And I want them to know. That's like the hard part. I don't think...
hang on. I can put it this way. Why don't you tell us an interesting fact about yourself?
An interesting fact about myself. Well, as I
put it...
slightly mentioned earlier already, there's like the fact a lot of...
That's the way I was putting it.
Yeah, that's... there's like the one thing a lot of people don't know about me, because there's like... I don't think it's anything to brag about, but like... I think it might have been at my very starting years of being in the furry fandom, but not really being that active yet. I was actively playing in the Electronic Sports League as a Counter-Strike player. So I was heavily into first-person shooters and competitive games. And, well, it wasn't too bad when my clan actually went to LAN conventions and tournaments and stuff like that. But a lot of people are surprised by that fact when I tell them, because nowadays I don't really do competitive games, and I'm not that heavily into shooters. For a long time I kind of didn't do any of that because I didn't like it anymore, because toxic people and so many of my friends turned into being super competitive, and I started disliking that. Lately I'm going back into Apex a little bit, but I keep the level on not going ranked and not do it like just for winning. It's just for fun.
Yeah. It's same with me. I only do first-person shooters for fun. Like, when I was heavily addicted to Apex, I only did it for fun. I didn't do any of the ranked stuff. I just played just to have a little bit of fun. I was addicted to it, I'm not gonna lie, but I never did like any of the ranked stuff.
It's like a fine balance, because on one side you kind of want to win, obviously. On the other hand, if you're not winning, is it ruining your time? Then it's kind of bad, and I don't want to have that. So even if I'm losing a game, I just want to have like a good fun time. That's why I mostly just play with friends, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Cool, it's sure cool if we win. It's not the absolute staple of having a good time, though.
All right, well, there you go. Next question, I guess. So my next question for you, Kana, is that if someone is watching this right now, what advice would you give them to start content creation? Whether it being, well, in your case, it would be Twitch. Well,
Well, that's a good one, and I can also say, if I'm allowed to do so, I have a small rant YouTube video uploaded on my YouTube channel for that about that, because it became a topic during one of my in real life streams when I was first sitting at a comic convention. And if there's one thing I want to tell people that think about content creation is, if you want to do it, if you have fun making videos, making content, streaming, uploading to TikTok, it doesn't matter if you do stupid memes or if you sing or you draw, just do it and then let other people, especially people that say they're your friends, tell you to not do it.
Or tell them you're just gonna do it.
You're just doing it to become famous. That is such a break in what you like to do from people that just don't understand why you like creating stuff. And it's just gonna hold you back. It's holding you back. And it's not cool. I had that for a couple of years, that the people I hung out with most were the people telling me the most that I'm just doing videos for clout. And it felt bad to do it, and I felt bad about content creation because my friends judged me. And when I kind of broke free from that, it felt so much better. And now I can just do what I want, and it makes me happy, and I don't have to worry about what any of other people are thinking about it.
So yeah, go for it. If you want to do it, go for it.
Yeah. But it took me a little bit to get back into it because I never, like I said, I didn't know if I wanted to continue because I didn't know if I would find, the right reasons to do it. But now that I've come across this, I know why I want to do it now.
Yeah, it's like, if you enjoy it, don't let anyone ruin it.
Yeah.
That's like baseline.
Yeah, and also, the reason why I want to do it is, I've mentioned this a couple times. I want to do it for inspiration. I want to inspire a new group of content creators, I want to help build the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, just by doing something, you already have the chance to be heard by someone or seen by someone. And even if you don't think about it or you don't like it doesn't cross your mind, there might be someone out there that sees what you're doing and without even telling you, just gets inspired to do something themselves as well. And I can tell you from experience, it's a pretty cool feeling or moment when you actually find out. When somebody goes up to you and says like, hey, I started doing this because of you. It's very cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, if I hear that, if someone comes up and say, hey, I did content creation because of you, and my heart will immediately melt. Because that's...
It is.
Because that is the one thing.
Not gonna lie, it's a bit of a weird feeling.
It's a weird feeling, but
not
it's
gonna
a wholesome
say.
feeling, but my heart will immediately melt, and I will just... I don't know how I would react to that.
I still don't know how to react to that. It happened a couple of times now, especially on the DJing side, and I have this problem that I don't think very highly of myself or of the things I do. So if somebody walks up to me and says like, "Hey, I like your stuff," and it's kind of the reason why I do stuff, I'm just like, why? I don't understand why. What? Me? Why? It's like, yeah, but so
It's weird. It's weird.
Alright. We're getting... I don't know if this is the point of this interview, is to get off track, but I don't know. But we'll figure that out at some point, but let's move on to the next question. So, Kana, as you know,
Yeah.
we may be variety creators, but some of us do jump into that VR. Some of us do jump into that VR experience to do content. So, a question that I ask most often is, how has your view of virtual reality changed over time?
over time. Well, I know that when I started with it, since it was the start of the lockdowns and everything, I definitely had more time for it. Like nowadays, I sometimes dread that I don't have enough time to just more hang out just in VR chat, just to hang out with friends. Because nowadays, most of the times I hop into VR chat, it's either for some kind of event like a Ferality, a DJ set, or a stream. Not so much anymore to just like hop in, explore, and hang out with friends. I miss that honestly a little bit, and I try to do it more often again. But next to that, it hasn't really faltered. Like, I still love VR as what it is. I love how it grew, as in quality and quantity. Because I remember when I started doing VR stuff, I tried to find a cat or a big cat, like a tiger avatar. And there was one. There was one that looked somewhat usable and nothing else. And nowadays, if you're looking for cat avatars, there's tons of options. So that's cool. Like, we adapted, and we also kind of took over VR, if you know what I mean. As people say, furries are everywhere, right? But we're also the guys who are building everything for everyone. We don't care if people are using avatars that are not furries. We just create it. We create worlds, and everyone can have fun with it. And that's, I think, a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's also something I've never really thought about.
I think it's a gateway for people to meet furries. Like, there's a lot of stigma about it, especially in VR worlds. But then, on the other hand, there's so many people using our worlds, using our avatars, and then we're like, wait, those guys are doing cool things. And then they start hanging out, and they're like, oh, those guys are not just weird. They're like actually like nerdy, techy, skilled people. And I think that's a lot of chance to just show people what we are as a community.
Definitely. I definitely can see that. Alright. So, moving on to the next question. So, Kana, the next question for you is, if you had a theme song, what would it be?
Here's the thing, I have a theme song. Like,
Yeah.
I have someone, or had someone, made a theme song for me. And that's years ago, and I recently started using it again on my streams. It's some kind of like uplifting, trancy, dreamy, space kind of intro. That's what I wanted to have as an intro for my character, like as a theme song for it, because I'm a space cat. So I have one, and I'm probably getting a new one soon if things are working out the way I want to. But next to that, if I would have a theme song for like everyone to listen to because it's out there, that's a bad question to ask a DJ. There's so much music out there. Holy. That's really hard. A theme song. I wouldn't be able to tell. There's too much good music that I would like be like, that's fitting, but I would need like a whole DJ set to express that. Like a 1 hour DJ set is like, okay, all the songs are.
It could be like a whole
themes for
DJ
me.
set. Just put together like an entire DJ set of all your favorite songs, and just make that your entire. Just make that your theme song. Because that's honestly what I would do if I had a theme song.
To be honest, that might be actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna note that down. Am I gonna do that? Am I gonna make a
Glad I
DJ
could help,
set?
I guess. Alright.
No, but that's really hard. I like.
There's so much music and so much different music I like, and
It's so much depending on mood as well, right?
in what could be your theme song.
Oop, that's like.
So hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'm doing a whole set about it.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Not a bad idea. All right, moving on to the next question before every time I think we get into a good conversation, it gets out of hand. Let's move on. And I'm having the zoomies. Let's move on before my controller decides to throw me off this balcony. So kind of. Next question is kind of a deeper question. So. So kind of, what was the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome to be where you are right now?
I think the biggest thing I have to overcome to be where I am right now is basically myself. I like fight with something that's called imposter syndrome. That's my brain telling me that whatever I do or achieve is just coincidence or luck. And it's a little bit hard to like believe into myself. So I'm fighting with that since ever. It became a little bit better when I found out that there is a name in the description for it. But that's like a hard thing to do. To like try to keep yourself not from saying you didn't do this, it was just luck, it was just coincidence. Next time they're gonna find out you suck. That's definitely one thing. And the other thing that's probably a little bit hard to believe, if somebody says it who is talking as a streamer to people on their channel, is I had a lot of stage fright in my teenage years. I like could not speak in front of my class, for example. I was shaking, my whole body was shaking, the papers I had in my hand were like shaking. And at some point I told myself, I gotta get rid of this. So I actually volunteered as a candidate for school spokesperson and had to walk with a group of other kids through every single class in my freaking school and introduce myself. And like, you know, you have to be like, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to make that better and stuff like that. And that was hard, but holy shit, it helped. That was like probably the biggest thing I ever got rid of by addressing the problem directly.
Yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from with the whole imposter syndrome thing, because I definitely feel like I've kind of have been feeling like that, because with how I've been doing with this, with YouTube, with TikTok, it's like people seeing all this, like, why the hell are they watching me? Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to have fun. Like, why do I deserve this?
And it's like, and then you keep whining to friends and people, and like, I don't know if I should keep doing this because I'm not doing anything. I don't have any skill. Then it's like, and then they have to like basically take a baseball bat and knock it into your head and like, you're doing good things. You're doing great. Stop doubting yourself. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but also the one thing that I've been telling myself is like, it kind of, I don't think about it if I just think about if I'm just having fun doing this. If I'm having fun, if I'm enjoying this, then it's not that big of a deal to think about.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how it works basically though. Like when I stream, I don't think about the whole doubting myself part. When I DJ, when I'm on the stage and I'm playing music, I don't doubt what I'm doing. I'm just there having a good time. And then it doesn't matter. Just every other time, especially when it's close to another DJ set, I'm like, oh my god, everybody's gonna hate it. When it's not true. But you keep telling that to yourself because your brain is like,
Yeah, that's how it is. Anyway. So, another thing I wanted to ask you, which is also yourself, a bit of a deeper question also. During streaming, have you seen a change in yourself?
I'm pretty sure, yes. As in going through multiple stages, I guess. Because when you start it, you just do it, right? And then if it works out and people are flocking in and gonna stay, and you feel like, okay, this is working out, you feel a kind of responsibility to what you're doing. Like, you're starting to build a community, so you feel responsible for being there, for streaming. You don't just stop and don't stream for 2 or 3 weeks. You want to keep going because you think like, okay, those people are like, they're enjoying you, and you want to deliver as well, especially if they're showing support. And that's probably one stage, I think. And the second stage is, if it's starting to be big enough to worry about it, it can also alter how you approach it. And for some time, I actually approached it more as a job than an actual hobby, and that wasn't good for myself. And luckily at some point it clicked in my head and I stopped doing that, because it took away the joy. Because it was like, I felt like I have to do it like an 8 to or 9 to 5 job kind of thing, instead of like, I'm doing it when I feel like it so I can enjoy it. And I'm glad I'm back to that, because now it's kind of hobby again, and I can do whatever I want without being afraid that I will, I don't know, scare away people or don't be likable to everyone, because I want them to like me and not what I act out on my stream. And now I can be more myself again. And that was a very important step, I think.
All right. Next question, I guess. All right. So, Kana, my next question for you is, is there any item that you own that has special meaning to you, besides your VR headset and besides your fursuit?
A special item that has special meaning to me. I mean, there definitely are. Like... As you might know, I'm also known as the Banana Cat because of the black and yellow and stuff. And I have like a small, how to call it? I don't know. Do you like say altar? I have like a small space in one of my shelves where I collect small gifts that people give me at conventions or send me that are banana related. So I have like a small banana Lego figurine, or somebody gifted me a pencil case in the shape of a banana, and stuff like that. I got like a bandana with a banana pattern on it as well from someone, and that's pretty cool. So this is my little like appreciation corner, I guess, so to say. And next to that, like as an actual item, I have a hand-sewn companion cube that I got for a birthday many years ago from a very special person, and I still hold that one very dear to me. It's living on my couch since ever.
You know, can I just say this right now? When you said you were the Banana Cat, I honestly, you kind of look more like a bumblebee.
I hear that. Thank you very much. I get that from kids when I'm out fursuiting.
I had like kids looking at me, pointing at me, and be like, "Is that a bumblebee?" And they're like, "I know I'm black and yellow. I know I'm floofy. No, I don't have a stinger." Stop. Wait, bumblebees don't have stingers, but you know what I mean. Not a bee.
There has been many jokes about this. Don't worry.
Anyway, that's just something that crossed my mind. All right. Next question.
Not a bumblebee.
For anyone watching, here's the public PSA. Kana's not a bumblebee. You heard it here
Disclaimer,
first.
not a bumblebee.
Yeah, just put a big disclaimer over Kana's head that says not 100% not a bumblebee.
Yeah, let me quickly make a VR chat group that's called Not a Bumblebee.
That's just not a bad idea. All right.
Bumblebee Sona.
So, Kana, Next question for you
Mm-hmm.
is, if you're ever have any stress, like before streaming or during streaming, is there any coping mechanisms that you do to try and get rid of it, to try and ease it?
Considering that a lot of times before I start streaming, I'm actually somewhat still nervous about it. I think most of the things that actually help me is music. I'm very, like, I know I can control some of my emotions by listening to the right music and to get myself into the right mood. So I have a couple of songs where I know no matter what, they're gonna lift my spirits or just make me dancey. And when I get dancey, then everything is fine.
This is like, you can see me like, and that makes everything better for me. That helps a lot.
Yeah, music has definitely helped me a lot trying to ease anxiety, but there's also a something I cope with, how to cope, because during these interviews, that one thing is eye contact. If I just, maintain eye contact with the participant, I just forget that the camera's there because I just want to treat this as like two people having a conversation.
It's actually interesting because I think most people I know that are like fighting with a kind of anxiety like that have more anxiety of like being one-on-one on a person than having a camera that is not a person. So I think that's actually interesting, but a good mechanism.
Like when I did it with the first time with Luna, I was so stressed. Like I barely put my eyes on the camera. Majority of my eyes was on Luna.
Fixated. Why would you fixate that much on Luna, huh?
It's not like Luna. If you're watching this, it's not like this.
Luna, if you're watching this,
I I've got a lot to learn about you.
Wow, I mean, Luna's
only-
nice to look at. No judging.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she is, but not in the way that you think.
I'm just mocking you. It's fine.
It's alright. Alright. Next question before this gets out of hand. Not caused by me, but actually caused by this motherfucker right here.
Will calling me names on the first date.
Wow. Jeez.
See, that's why Luna says I'm a little shit.
Yeah. But I really do mean it. I do have kind of a bit to learn about you as a friend.
I'm just a cat.
And I'm just a little shit. A confused little shit. Fuck. Also confused little Dirk who has the zoomies.
Looks like you have to learn a lot about your control stick as well.
Yeah, if it'll let me behave. If it'll behave. My next question is there a specific moment in your streaming path that holds a special place in your heart?
I mean, there's definitely a couple that are just like mind-boggling, as we talked earlier about imposter syndrome, and you keep telling yourself nothing of this happens because you deserve it. And I just recently had a 40-hour stream, which was absolutely mind-boggling because I didn't think it would go that way. It was like my 7K follower celebration stream that was supposed to be 24 hours. But then people unlocked a Fursuit sleep stream. So I did that and then kept streaming in Fursuit the next morning for a while until we hit 40 hours. And it was so mind-boggling to realize the support and love my community has for me in an actual moment where I thought maybe all of this isn't worth all the time and effort. And it just blew me away, and I felt so bad about even thinking about this not being worth it. And that's definitely something that kept crawling back into my head in the past couple of days and weeks of like, oh boy. So yeah, like that was absolutely mind-blowing. It just showed me what it means to some people to keep going.
But it is truly amazing about what a community can do. Like how much support
It's
that people in the
bonkers.
fandom like want to give to someone because they, in one sense, made them smile just a little bit more.
Yeah. And like it's kind of maybe sounds dumb to say, but I think I forgot about that for a bit. And I was like, is it worth doing this? Is it worth my time? Do I still enjoy this enough to like keep pushing? And then it just blew me complete out of the water. I'm like, now you feel like such an idiot because it obviously is worth it. You just didn't look at the things that people are telling you or showing you to make that obvious. You just like blindsided to it for a little bit. And yeah, that's like, oh my god. It was an absolute oh my god moment.
Yep. I'm pretty sure for any streamer out there it would have been.
Probably has been
Yeah.
and will be.
Yep, it forever will be.
People are crazy. People are acting crazy.
Definitely. Anyway, next question. So, the last question is there anyone out there, maybe like close friends, moderators, that you want to thank for getting here?
Oh, there's like so many people, and if you leave out one, they're gonna be angry at you. But no, obviously, of course, I have to thank my community for being there and supporting me. But there is a couple of moderators that are stuck with me actively in my community that also like are the pillars of my community, I would say so. Like they hang out in my Discord, they play games with me on stream, off stream. There's a huge thank you to them as well because they don't have to, you know, like they could have moved on, they could have found someone else. Apparently they're enjoying me and my company and my community, so they're staying. That's a huge thanks. But if I would have like to point out a specific person, then it would be someone I met through my streams, became a friend, and I would see as one of my best friends at the moment. And that guy goes by the name Kigu Fox. And he's just been such a pillar for myself, as in keeping my shit together, lifting me up when I'm down, going with me through my circles of depression and not depression, and helping me so much with computer problems, streaming problems, and being a dumb idiot cat. So Kigu Fox deserves all the praise and all the thank yous for, I don't know, keeping me in check, I guess. As in, dude, I like you as a streamer, and if I like you, other people like you too. Shut up. That's basically what I hear from him every couple of weeks. And then I keep going.
Alright. Yeah. Well, I guess with that, that'll do it for this video, guys. So if you liked it, make sure to subscribe, turn on the bell, and like this video. So...
And give pets. Give them that many pets.
Also, I'll link I'll throw Kana's Twitch and all where you can find Kana in the description. And you give him all the support and love. So I guess, that out of the way, stay safe, take it easy. And I'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.